Let me thank once again the ruler of Dubai, Minister Reem and Tariq Al Gurk, for bringing us together in what I believe is the most critically important session of this great event. But as has been said so eloquently, we're at a critical turning point. We now know the scale of the damage that has been inflicted by the pandemic. There are not just 260 million children out of school as before the pandemic, but 300 million. Millions of pupils' learning times has been lost. The expenditure required to meet the Sustainable Development Goals is not now just 148 billion a year, but 200 billion. And yet 2/3 of countries are cutting their education budgets, and aid is being cut by 2 billion. We are creating an unparalleled crisis in the funding of global education, which urgent and innovative measures must now address. I applaud the UNICEF connectivity initiative and the high-tech, high-touch approaches under which we can use teaching and technical resources better. But whether it is connectivity or generally classroom teaching, we cannot make the changes we now need in education and meet our sustainable development goal without finance. First, national spending. Countries must again see education as indispensable to their future prosperity. And that means the IMF and World Bank should exempt any cuts in educational spending from any debt restructuring programs imposed on countries. And instead of 70% of countries failing to meet the recommended benchmark for education spending as a share of their economy, we should declare worldwide a new golden rule that from now on, educational spending will be treated in budgetary arithmetic, not as current expenditure, but as an investment, the investment it really is. And then global education providers from World Bank, the GPE, UNICEF, and Education Cannot Wait, which helps refugees, those furthest behind. They all need us to put into practice the Addis Ababa principles that education aid will increase, and aid will also be a platform for mobilizing new and additional sources of finance for education. So I would like to echo the Secretary General's recent call from the United Nations to world leaders to urgently operationalize the International Finance Facility for Education, this innovative finance mechanism and the first of its kind in education, that with $2.5 billion in guarantees and $1 billion in grants can create $10 billion in additional resources for education. I call on the countries that stand to benefit, from Kenya and Nigeria to Pakistan and Tanzania, to tell us that with IFID, millions more children could be learning at school. I invite the UAE and all public and private donors to join the United Kingdom and the Netherlands as founding donors so that we can launch this powerful engine to create new resources for global educational change at the United Nations Transforming Education Summit in September. This is a message of hope that education is the best investment we can ever make. Let us shout from the rooftops of Dubai our call for finance to achieve our dream that we will indeed be the first generation in history where every boy and every girl is at school, and that instead of developing some of the potential of some young people in some countries, we will indeed provide the finance to develop all of the potential of all young people in all countries. Thank you very much.